Hey everybody, how's it going? Sorry, I'm just trying to flip on my camera. Brad Hussey here, Office Hours Live. How's it going? Good to see ya. Let me just open up my chat here so I make sure I got to see everybody. Da, 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 da. Cool. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome to Office Hours Live. Office Hours Live is our weekly show on Thursdays where we chat with the students at freelancingfreedom.com and anyone else who wants to tag along and learn about planning, launching, and growing your client-centered business using the tools, technology, and connection we have available to us today. So I'm really excited about today's Office Hours Live. We're going to be connecting all of the last 3 weeks. We've been talking about the 3 stages of freelancing freedom and how that applies to you and how you can truly start your business, grow it, begin automating it and systemizing it, and then productizing it and really kind of scaling. And that's where we're going to see some major growth. So that's what today's about. Is going to be about tying those 3 things together. So let me just open up our chat, and then I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Okay, let me see. Alea, good to see you here. Monique, as always, it's nice to see regular faces. Brandy, this is awesome. Suzanne, we got Lori. Lori's here. Lori says, I hadn't seen your hey when I wrote mine. Hafsa, good to see you. We got Jordan, John, Namita. Awesome. This is awesome. Okay. And there we go. And I think we've got, hold on, I'm trying to flip my camera here. Sorry, folks, just a couple little tech glitches. There we go. Do we see my good camera? Am I looking sharp? There we go. That's more like it. That's what I like to see. Okay. Awesome. So the Falcon says, will you make videos on programming other than business videos? No. Not in this context. I'm trying to teach you about starting a business. I have lots of content on coding and programming. Feel free to go check those out. If you want to start a business, this is the place to be. If you want to learn how to program Python, not the place to be. Okay. So today, folks, we're going to be talking about those 3 stages, and I'm going to be pulling up my Q&A here. So at any point you have questions, Alea, my business manager, will be throwing your questions into my Trello board so we can so I can answer all your questions. So I'm pulling that up, my Trello board. There we go. Alea says, if you're having an issue seeing Brad, please refresh the page. Yes, so if at any point you guys have any tech glitches or anything like that, just refresh. You won't lose your spot. It's just a YouTube live stream, so we'll be good to go. And you should be good to go. Okay. Larry, hello from Wisconsin. Always good to see you here, Larry. So again, if you have any questions, throw them up. We're going to be switching here into my screen so that you can see. There we go. Look at that. Craziness. Always craziness. Here we go. Boom. 3 stages. Let me fix this up so you can see it better, because nobody could see that. That's a bit more like it, hey? Okay, here we go. The 3 stages of freelancing freedom. We'll jump into this kind of little presentation. We'll talk about tying them together. If you have any questions at any point, throw them in there and we'll talk about it, okay? So, there we go. So, the ultimate strategy for building a successful client-based business. This is what I'm saying here. The 3 stages of freelancing freedom. So, what are those 3 stages? Well, the 3 stages is launch, systemize, and productize. Launching is building that foundation and getting your first clients, establishing who you're serving, what you're making for them, how you're solving problems, establishing the true foundation of any business, okay? It's kind of the less glamorous part of business that no one really wants to talk about. Everyone wants to talk about all the fun, shiny, fancy things and all the features and software and ads and scale and big revenue numbers and income reports and things like that. But no one really wants to talk about the foundational element that you need to have in order to succeed. So that's stage 1. Stage 2 is called systemize. And this is what I'm calling systemize. there's different names for it, I'm sure, but within the Freelancing Freedom training methodology, Systemize is the second stage, okay? Systemize is when you take everything and you start to standardize stuff and you begin to incorporate some of the really cool elements where you go, whoa, I didn't know I could do this, okay? And then the third stage is productize, where we create a product, something that we can sell at scale using automation, sell on demand. And I like to imagine freelancing freedom. So what we teach, what is great is there are two things. There's service-based businesses and online businesses, and I always thought they were separate. At least until I started building two businesses: a service-based client business with my web design agency, and then an online business teaching tutorials and courses and stuff. And I thought, these are separate, but they don't have to be. Why are we teaching it's one or the other? You know, there's a lot of advice out there saying, don't do client stuff, don't freelance, just like go straight to courses. And I go like, what? That doesn't make any sense, because why would you start with clients and do that only to throw it away to just go straight to courses teaching about something totally separate? We have nowadays the technology and tools and connection available to us that we can incorporate that into our service-based businesses. So getting clients and starting a service-based business is easy. Whereas trying to start up like an online course business or something like that, that's confusing and hard. And I see people failing left, right, and center and wasting their time and nothing comes of it. But you can get a client today. You can book your first $500 client today. You can have 3 clients by the end of next week or this month, or next month rather, given that this is the very end of May. And so we can incorporate these tools into our service-based businesses. So I like to say freelancing freedom is the best of both worlds. So imagine 2 circles. So you have freelancing, which is client-based service. So it's service-based businesses, and then online business. But then imagine those 2 circles overlap. In that middle, in that overlap, is what I call service at scale. Okay, so we're going to get into that here. Some comments. Billy asks, when do you think you'll get around to the Systemize and Productize courses? Billy, have you already joined the launch course? That's what I want to know. Systemize, will be in production once we finish wrapping up everything with launch and then incorporating a marketing and sales strategy so that we can get people regularly joining that course. And then we'll get into Systemize. That said, though, Billy, I take my own advice. I practice what I preach, and the first students of Systemize will be, and this is my plan here, is to take on maybe it could be 2 to 5 one-on-one students, and that I will work with them individually to systemize their business. And then so instead of waiting for a course, I'll find the people, the 2 to 5 people who I will work with individually or in a group, probably both. I will do one-on-one, but we'll do in a group. And we will basically create what is going to be systemized. So I will create the course, but that will come out of what we do together with my one-to-one students, one-to-one clients. So we will go through what it is I'm going to teach. I already have the content outlined, but we're going to be implementing that one-to-one. And then from there, what we'll do is you'll get access to the course once it's developed, and I will use our experience together with my one-to-one students and my group students, turn that into the course. Same thing with productize. So it's much easier for me to work with a small handful of people who are willing to commit to the time, the calls, the training, and paying the fee. And I will work with them individually, and myself and Alea will work with them individually and as a group to productize and to create their first course and to show them what they need to do and to help walk them through the steps. And those things will turn into what the course will be. So there will be a way to get access to Systemize and Productize before they are finalized and nicely produced and edited and closed captioned and, and everything like that. I'll be doing the minimum viable product. So my minimum viable product is productize is right here in my head. Systemize is right here in my head. I can take any number of, any person who's ready for that stage, engage in a transaction, say, here's the cost to get started, and we'll start next Monday. And then we'll go through it, and then that will become the course. And that's my way of knowing, okay, how does this work with my thought of what, Systemize and Productize will be? I think that these are the modules and these are the training lessons and this is what is going to happen. But when I work with someone individually and I apply that to our one-to-one coaching and our working together, then I'll be able to validate, oh, I thought this would be helpful, but it's actually not. This is what they're looking for. So then I can create the best course. This is practicing what I preach. And this is ties exactly directly into what I'm about to talk about, okay? So can you skip the line? Can you just jump straight to, automation? Can you jump straight to productization? Can you jump straight to creating an online course? Can you jump straight to creating an awesome funnel? Can you do that? Well, no, because you can't systemize what has not been launched. If you haven't launched anything, if you don't have a business, if you don't have a business model, if you don't have a business plan, if you don't have a business strategy, if you don't have a client, let alone, 3 clients or 5 clients, the amount that you'd actually need for me to say, yeah, you've got a business and I could see the patterns. If you don't have a business, if you don't have clients, if you don't have a product or a service rather, and if you haven't actually solved any problems, I hope I'm still here. My camera looks to seem to have, okay. I don't know if my camera has frozen. Yeah, it did. Weird. Can everybody still hear me? I just want to make sure I'm good to go. Couple tech glitches. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, cam frozen, but still here. Okay. Cool. Thanks. Sorry about that. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. We'll continue with this camera. My live streaming software now directly connects with my camera, but clearly there's still bugs. Okay, don't worry about it. So you can't systemize what hasn't been launched, right? Because what are you systemizing then? What are you systemizing? What are you trying to automate? Okay, nothing. How are you going to systemize service delivery? How are you going to systemize and automate, marketing your business? How are you going to create a funnel that has that isn't based off of anything? So you can't systemize what hasn't been launched. Okay. What about products? What about creating courses? What about, automation and scale? Well, likewise, you can't productize what has not been launched. What is your business? What are you productizing? What are you creating? Who is your audience? I'm going to ask you the three magical questions. Who are you serving? Can you answer that question on the spot? Okay. What about this? What problem do they experience? You should be able to answer that question like this. And finally, what have you created to solve that problem for them? And you should be able to answer that question like this. And then finally, bonus question, have you booked any clients with that formula, with that model in mind? Have you done that? And if because you can hypothesize, you could say, okay, who are you serving? I'm serving, local businesses. Okay, vague, but okay, I'll humor you. Next, what problem do they solve? Or what problem are they experiencing? They're experiencing, they don't have a website. Okay, again, vague and not really a problem, but sure, I'll humor you a second time. Finally, what are you doing to solve that problem for them? I'm creating web experiences for them. Okay, so very vague and technically a business model. And a bonus question, as the final kind of nail in the coffin, I suppose you could say. How many clients have you booked using that model? Oh, like none yet, but like I'm gonna have a ton. I'm gonna have a ton of clients. It's gonna be a lot of hustle, a lot of hard work, and it's gonna be great. And but first I got to go back to school. I got to learn the latest programming languages. And once I'm like a master Python dev, and I load up my full stack, and I'm like basically a Big Mac sandwich in a web dev package. Talk about clients left, right, and center. It's going to be solid hustle. No, absolutely not. It's not going to work for you. That's not a thing. Or how about this? Someone's like, hey, I'm going to create a great course. Okay, cool. What's your course? Who's it for? I don't know. Okay. What problem are you trying to solve? Just like, information. And how are you solving it? Through a great online course that's marketed and it converts a lot of people, and we have a funnel, and there's lots of this, and we're going to do Instagram, and we're getting a lot of people funneling to the course, and we're going to sell it, and we're going to do like a fast action bonus, and then all of it's empty, all of it's shallow. There's nothing there. You can't productize what you haven't launched. You can't systemize what you haven't built a foundation on top of. Okay? So you can look at the glitz and the glamour of what it's like to have an online course that sells every day for $500 and imagine, what that could mean for you. But if you can't book one client with your service and solve their problem, then you're not going to be able to book 100 customers or students. It's not going to work. It's not possible. Hafsa Khan says, I just finished watching last week's session and noticed that you addressed me as a guy. I want to let you know that I am a girl. Hafsa Khan is a feminine name. Well, thank you for letting me know. I apologize that I addressed you incorrectly. I cannot tell, one, from your profile picture, or two, from your name. Culturally for you, that's a feminine name. But for me, where I am, there's lots of like Johns and Susans and, Jennies. So for me, culturally, I was not able to differentiate if it was male or female. So my apologies, my honest apologies. That's the first time I've heard of your name. So to set the record straight, Hafsa, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I apologize, and welcome aboard. And moving forward, I will make sure that I remember that you are a female. Okay. Hafsa says, pronounces it right. Okay, cool. I'm pronouncing it right. Great. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. If anybody here, specifically if your username is not your actual name, or if it's just like, like digital, digital on kit, I can only assume, especially if your profile picture is like a logo or just like a random thing. It's hard, I could do my best. So let me know if at any point I pronounce your name incorrectly, how to pronounce it correctly, or if I am addressing you incorrectly. Let me know. Okay. Back to business. So let's go here. So if you can't skip the line, you can't systemize what you haven't launched, and you can't productize what you haven't launched. Okay. So then what do? You start with service. You start with building the foundation. You establish the business. You solve real problems for real people. And you book a client. You book 2 clients. You book 3 clients. You cannot get out of this launch stage until you have first identified a niche, found out what they struggle with, and delivered a service to solve the problem, and actually booked paying clients. So once you can get to this stage, and once you've done this, you are successfully in and succeeding with stage 1. Then what happens? You establish automation based on what you've built. Standardize your business using a series of systems, automations, and workflows to create consistency in leads, sales, and service delivery. This is where we get to do some fun things like funnels. So we can say, Hussey, how is your business working within this launch stage? Who are your customers? What have you done? What does your project flow look like? How much do you usually charge? Have you tried offering a retainer? How do you usually pitch them? How do you usually sell them? Do you usually do a call first, or do you just do an in-person meeting? What's your flow? Let me know everything about your business. We're going to document it. We're going to standardize it. We're going to create a standard operating procedures document. From that, we're going to identify what it is that can be systemized and automated so we can create your funnel. We can go, okay, what you're doing here is a lot of manual work. When we can get a system in place and automate that whole process, imagine how much better you'll be able to be with getting more clients, or building your service, or building your website for your client, or delivering the service to your client if you can free up 3 hours per week. All of that's automated. Imagine what it would be like to now take your flow that you've done over and over again with the launch phase to book a client, and then turn that into an automated funnel sequence that maybe has a funnel that's watertight, and you can deliver an ad to it. A YouTube ad, a Facebook ad, an actual print ad, paid advertising, feeding traffic to your funnel. Because your funnel works. You've tested it manually. So now you've just systemized it and created an automation, and you're feeding traffic to it. Then we can test that, and we can then cross-reference the cost per lead, the cost per customer, and then how much revenue you get from that customer. And then once you know those numbers, then you could say, let's start feeding some more traffic to that funnel. Let's test an alternative funnel. So now we get to do some really fun stuff, but we cannot do it. Like if I said, hey, okay, let's work together, and I'll send you a bill, and I'll work once a week with you this month, and we're going to systemize your business. That's the objective. By the end of this month, you will have a system that you will then have the responsibility to then feed ads to it, or feed some traffic, or tweak it and move from there. And I start to ask you questions like, okay, let's look at your service delivery. Let's look at how you get leads. Let's look at how you the clients you've done delivered in the past. And you go, oh yeah, no, I just like automation. I want a cool funnel. And I go, you're wasting my time and your money, because you can't systemize anything. There's nothing here to systemize. It's like saying, I want to paint my house. No. I want to hook up my house with smart, I want to have a smart house with smart lights. I want a smart furnace. I want a smart air conditioner. I want a smart lawn care, watering system. I want smart window shades. I want smart everything. I want everything to be dialed in and on my phone. I'm like, amazing. Yep, I'll hook it up for you. I'll hook everything up for you, and it's going to be so great. Where's your house? And you go, I don't have one yet. What are we then automating? Nothing. Okay. Okay. So there's a question. Leslie asks a question about funneling. Alea is going to put that in the Q&A tab here. So I'll get right back to your question as soon as possible there, Leslie. Good question. And then, so from there, we got start with service, establish automation, now service at scale. So we've launched, we've standardized and systemized, and now we get to productize. We get to package your service into a digital product that sells at scale and generates revenue in your sleep. So this one is purely service. Launch is all about service, 100%, 150%. You're going to serve your customers and your clients. You're going to do everything manually. You're going to work really hard to get this foundation built to know at every point of your business what's working and what's not, so that everything is just out on the table and you've done it all. Okay? So you know every aspect of your business, what goes on, nothing goes past you, right? Then we start to say, that's not an efficient way to grow, but now I see what's working in the foundation. Now we can start standardizing it, okay? Creating systems. We can eliminate what's unnecessary. We can delegate to somebody else, like a virtual assistant or a team member who you pay on contract to take care of X, Y, and Z. And then we automate these other aspects so that anything that gets on your desk is 100% worth your time. Still mostly manual. Okay, lots of service, 100% service. There's probably an element of automated service here, but not a lot. Then in productize, we then say, okay, we've done this enough and we have systems and automations in place where now we can take your service delivery and create a product out of it that's going to solve the problem for most of your customers. Okay, and then we're going to automate that, and then we can create a funnel, which I'll get to. Leslie, she's unsure. I'm assuming, Leslie, you're female. It could be male. Oh, I don't want to do it wrong. I'm assuming, sorry, I'm going back to losing my track here. You have your product, and then you can automate the traffic, the nurturing of the people who are interested in your product, and then you can deliver that product and sell that at scale, completely automated. So you just get notifications on your phone that you got a new customer who purchased your product and you got a deposit for X. Okay. Leslie says, yes, female. Got it. Okay. So those are the 3 stages. And this is how it works. You can see that launching is the most important because you then from that get to you get to standardize what's happening here. And then you get to productize what's happening before it. So your freelancing freedom journey looks like this. This is in basic bullet point form. If I were just to say, here are just the basic check marks to know, what you should be looking at in each stage. Stage 1 is launching. So it's the basics. It's the most important. Finding your niche, who you're serving, discovering their pain points, creating a minimum viable solution based on what you think is going to solve that problem, and then booking clients. This is what's great about minimum viable solution. Do you notice here how I'm not saying build a great website, get really good at design, get really good at coding, build an amazing website, establish an awesome funnel, and get lots of paid ads, and spend tons of money on marketing and branding and creating an amazing service and then selling it. And no. Who's your niche? Who do you want to serve? What's their problem? Do they have a problem? Does it seem like it's worth a problem they'll pay to have solved? Okay, sure. Let's move back beyond that. What can you do to solve that problem in the most minimum viable way? I'm not talking about a fancy website with all of these things and bells and whistles. I'm talking about, can you jump on a call and walk them through solving the problem and charge them $500 for it? Okay, can that happen? Maybe it's not a coaching call. Maybe it's building a website. Okay, I'm a web developer. I know how easy it is to build websites. Forget about all your programming languages and all the things. Can you build a website for a client in a weekend? Yes. Can you charge $1,000 for that to solve their problem? Yes, no problem. That's like your first website, $500 to $1,000. Easy. It's not hard. But then we need to go from there. Maybe you're like a business coach, or maybe you are, you're doing like personal training or yoga, like you're opening a yoga studio. Instead of opening the yoga studio, can you personally help one person? Can you work with one person? You can work with them over the internet. Same with personal training, vocal coaching, singing, teaching guitar, building websites, human resources, and working with small startups who don't have any sort of systems in place to make sure that their hiring, firing, and training and onboarding processes are dialed in and professional and legal. You could throw it all at me and I can tell you how you can create your minimum viable solution. Book your 3 paying clients. Why 3? Because 1, you can get lucky. 2, shows me you're onto something. If you can do it a 3rd time, that means a hat trick. That's like a home run. That shows me that it's valid. People are willing to pay for it. Then over deliver on your service. Go all in on making this the best service you can ever deliver to somebody. Over deliver on it so that they have no choice but to sing your praises and be brand ambassadors, be evangelists for your business, and get you your next clients. Then we can talk about Systemize, where we standardize everything you've done. So you've done a lot of manual work here. Then you start to identify what is repeatable, standardize it, systemize it. We document and implement systems, okay? Then we establish what I call the EDA formula, eliminate, delegate, automate, where you eliminate what's unnecessary, you delegate what's repetitive but doesn't need to be done by you, and then we automate the rest of what doesn't need to be done by a human with software. Now you've just freed up 50% or more of your own time, so now you can go back to creating the best service, to reinvesting the profits into building a great website, to paying for some advertising, to improving your skills. You've just freed up time, but your business just grew. Then we create a working funnel. I'll talk about funnels. And then you incorporate recurring revenue so that you can cover your expenses that happen every month on autopilot. They always come back, your expenses, but then you create recurring revenue. So retainers, you could take your current clients and get them on a retainer. You can get new clients and get them on a retainer. There's a number of ways to do this to cover your basic expenses so that now your expenses are paid for, your time is freed up, and you're ready to start building your minimum viable product based on what you've learned in Launch and Systemize. Then stage 3 is about productizing, validating your minimum viable product. See, does it work? Do people want it? Just the same as what you've done here in getting your first clients. They said this is their problem. Here's your solution. Can you jump on a call or build something or create something for them in a weekend that's going to solve their problem? Then from your experience with stage 1 and 2, you create a product from that. You can identify what are the common problems, what are the things they need to know, how can I teach them how to do it themselves, what are the things to look out for, how can I train them, how can I educate them, how can I guide them through solving this problem. That's how you create your product. And then your product can serve as an introductory offer that now means when people work with you one-to-one, it's expensive because it should be. That's your most valuable asset, your time. You never get it back. You can always get money back. You can never get time back. So you create your product that's more of an introductory price because those people aren't ready to work with you one-to-one yet. I will charge $500 for my launch course. As you've seen, some of you have joined that. In fact, I would encourage any of you who are looking to get started, that's a great way to get started. Because if you want to work with me one-to-one, it's going to cost three to four times as much as the course. Because why would I work one-to-one with somebody when they could just join the course and get basically 80% of what I will help them with one-to-one in my course? The benefit for you is it's more cost effective. The benefit for me is I get to serve a lot of people at once. And if you want to work directly with me, I welcome it. But it's going to come with a price because it involves me turning everything else off and only focusing on one person. And that's where I want you to be. Marketing and sales of your product, reviewing and improving all your systems, and scaling your funnel. Okay? So now I'm going to get to some questions. Let me see here. Hafsa has a question. Let me just, actually, you know what? Here we go. I'm going to go straight through the questions here on Trello. Digital On Kit says, do we have tips related to Fiverr? I would say avoid it. That's my best tip. Or honestly, I don't do Fiverr. I've never done Fiverr. I've never even hired anybody on Fiverr. In fact, I think I tried and it failed horribly. Because it's all commoditized humans who are just offering dirt cheap services that nobody actually, values, except for maybe like 2% of the people on Fiverr. It serves a very specific problem for people who need, if you need a logo really fast and you don't have like 2 pennies to rub together, then okay, sure. But honestly, it's not how you build a real business. If you want to, it's the same thing as if you want to start up, if you say, I want to start up a coffee shop and I don't even know where I'm going with that. It's just creating the worst version of your possible business and just giving away your time, your value for free and for cheap. I don't know. The only good business model in Fiverr is the person who invented Fiverr. But then now what it does is it commoditizes a bunch of people. You're not going to do well on Fiverr unless you're getting lucky. And I don't like building businesses on luck. I want you to actually be able to provide for your families based on something that works. Okay? That's my advice. Rick says, Fiverr. Thank you, Brad. All caps. You're welcome. I'm assuming you agree with me. Aaron says, I use Fiverr for non-creative production work, cutting people out of backgrounds. Yes, exactly. That's where Fiverr comes in handy. If you have a designer on retainer, if you're building a business and you have a designer, you pay $1,000 a month to do your design work. And you're like, hey, can you cut some of these people out of the background and then just smooth out the edges on that? And then just, turn that into like an HDR looking photo. What a waste of time for everybody involved. If you can get somebody who's just going to do it quick, cheap, dirty, easy, free, whatever, $5 to just do a couple of mundane tasks. Great. Perfect. But that's a commodity. That's just, anybody could do that. That's what a commodity is. That it doesn't matter who does it. It's just, it gets done. Your unique value, it doesn't matter. Okay. Suzanne says, I had this bad experience in Upwork. It's not a way to go at all. Exactly. It's not a way to go. Hafsa says, it depends on the project. You're having a discussion with Alea. If it's a novel, I need more time, definitive outline, good plot. If I can have one in a certain time, then I say yes. Oh, you're having a previous conversation. Alea says you need a system for booking clients, onboarding, as well as running your projects. So you have a standard way of running every project. And then says, many times the system is in our mind. Putting it on paper makes it real and allow you to determine some things so you can automate and delegate to others. And then Hafsa says, I do not catch that. I'll clarify. Think about this. Just forget about business, forget about all of that. Everything that we do in our lives is a system. Okay? How do you start your morning? So people who have Monday to Friday 9 to 5 jobs, your day is highly systemized. So think about this. What time do you get up? Okay. Just imagine that somebody was going to, if you we're going to have an out of body experience and then somebody else entered your body and had to do your life. Or maybe you just had a memory lapse and you forgot everything about your life for a week. How would you document on a piece of paper instructions for doing everything perfectly the way that you always do it? Okay. Set your alarm for 7. By 7:15, you'll have snoozed 3 times. Get out of bed. Throw cold water on your face. Then get in the shower. Brush teeth while in shower. After that, turn on coffee machine. While coffee machine is brewing coffee, boil water. Go wake up kids. Make oatmeal. Everything is systemized. And this is stuff that you do repetitively. So I'm not saying the spontaneous things that you do where maybe you get a phone call from some person you've never heard of. That's not systemized. That's contingency. That's stuff that might come up out of nowhere. That's just variability. Systemized. From point A to point Z, what are the steps that happen? Like clockwork, repetitively. From the way that you brew your coffee, it's the same every time. You're looking for efficiency. On automatic. You're not going, today I'm first going to boil the water, then I'm going to grab the French press, then I'm going to grind the coffee beans. Usually what I do is grind the coffee beans, then you do it the same way every time. When you put your shoes on, you tie the same shoe every time first. So if you start with your left, you always do that. Unless you consciously make an effort to go, today I'm going to change and tie my right shoe first. You're not variable. You're not spontaneous like that. We might think that we're always just doing whatever, and we're not creatures of habit. Everything you do is a habit. Everything you do is systemized. Everything you do is like clockwork. Okay? If you were to watch yourself from a bird's eye view, outside of your body, you'd go, whoa, I do the same things all the time in the same way, every way, all the time, always. It's the same in your business. And it should be. Because when you get a new client, okay, what does that trigger? What does that happen? This is in your mind. This is why Alea said the system is in your mind. Because it's your body's way of going, okay, I got a client, let's give them a call. Okay, let's create a proposal. Okay, let's set a price. Okay, let's plan this. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do that. All the way through to completing the project. It's all a system. Document it on a piece of paper, and then you could show somebody, this is how I run my business. Okay? Hafsa says, if that's the thing, it's different every time. Every book is different. Every client I get is different. I write articles too. They're different too. I'm going to stop you there. From a big perspective, yeah, it seems like you're doing lots of different things, but that's not the case. The content of what you write and the structure of what you write, sure, okay? There's probably variability. But when you get a client, what are the global repetitive things that happen every time? What about how you write? What do you do to write? What do you do to optimize your writing speed and your efficiency? When it comes to different articles, when it comes to this type of article, how is this process? What about this type of article? What about this book? What about a fiction book versus, a biography? What are the systemized components? It's not always spontaneous. It's not. I'm not convinced. Because I could say that for me when I did a lot of mishmash web design work, and I would take anything from a web app to designing a movie trailer web page to designing a page for a home building company. I'd be like, no, everything's different always. It's always different. It's always spontaneous. It's always new. It's always special. It's never the same. Mr. Spontaneity over here. And then you go, ha, 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 yeah, that's cute, Brad. But what you're actually doing is you're sending the same emails, you're responding the same way, you're sending your bill at the same time when you get to this point in your project, regardless of what the project is. You're doing this the same. You're using this tool to do that. You're using that tool to bill it that way. You're checking up on them at this time. The time frame is always this. You don't work on Fridays. You take your calls on Mondays because it's all systemized, okay? Aaron says, gonna catch the replay. Catch you later. Cheers, Aaron. Catch you later. Bye-bye. Hafsa says, for argument's sake, it's different. How will we systemize then? You find in this is why, Hafsa, what you have to do is document everything that you do. Because right now it's all in your head. Document everything you do. And what you're going to do, so and compartmentalize it. So, okay, I got a lead. Everything you do. So put at the top of that list, you say, received a phone call from a prospective client. Everything you do from that point forward, document it. Bullet point, checklist, whatever it is. And then do that repetitively 3, 4, 5 times with, that many unique cases. Then what you're going to be able to do is see how much overlap there is, how much system there is, how much repetition there is, so that you can go, okay, these things are spontaneous. These things do not have any overlap, but these things happen like clockwork. Interesting. I didn't see that. So I'm not saying, Hafsa, that your business is 100% systemized and repetitive, because I'm certain as a writer that it is different in lots of different ways versus somebody who has a book, or like an ebook that's the same words for every single person, regardless of who it is. And it's all systemized. You don't even have to be there to do it. You at this point are more customized, and your service delivery is quite custom. That doesn't mean that 20% of what you're doing is not repetitious or repetitive. So you need to document it, and you need to work harder to find what is systemized in there. But I'm not saying focus on all your time on doing that just yet, because you probably will still be in stage 1 until you have enough clients and enough work and enough revenue to start bursting at the seams to go, I need a better way of doing this. That's where systemization comes in, okay? Maybe your service delivery is 150% custom. It's never repetitive. But you know what is repetitive? How you find clients, how you get clients, how you nurture them, how you book them, how you send invoices, how you send proposals, how you book calls, how you schedule your time, how you block off time and you take clients on to book you in advance. Those things, running your business, I can tell you right now, running your business, the systemization is all the same. Delivering your service might require more of your customized, unsystemized effort. That's not scalable. But what is scalable and systemizable is everything else. Does this make sense? I want this to be clear to everybody else here as well, because your service delivery should be custom, especially in this stage right here. When you're in this stage, your service delivery is custom. I'm saying you're doing 100% service. You might have repetitive aspects. So if you're a web developer, you have chunks of code you could reuse. But if you're a writer and you're writing a fiction book for somebody who has a different story than the other client, you can't copy and paste, because that would be plagiarism. That would be wrong. So it is, so there's aspects in your service delivery that's going to be a little more repetitive and a little more custom. But in this stage, you're going to be custom. It's going to be heavily service-based, unscalable work. Okay? But what I'm saying here is once you establish, you're going to start to find the repetitive elements that you need to fix. Otherwise, you cannot grow. You'll be stuck in this stage and you'll never break out of it. And you'll always be burnt. You'll get burnt out and you'll feel like there's no possible way that I'm actually going to make a living doing what I'm doing. Or there's no possible way I'm going to be able to grow past this plateau doing what I'm doing. This is where you identify your systems. You systemize and automate, EDA the rest. Does this make sense? Monique says spot on. Cool. Okay, so Leia and Huffs are having a little chat. Cool. I love this. Yeah, keep it going, Leia. These are great questions. Okay, so that was Hafsa. Rashu wants to know, how can I start teaching mathematics online business? Okay, great question, Rashu. Do you want to be a mathematics tutor? Are you a mathematics tutor? Are you good at math? If you are still here, Rashu, let me know. Are you good at math? Do you have math clients? Do you have math students who you are tutoring under your tutelage? Okay. The reason why I'm asking is this is a service. Okay. This is you. Now, I'm not trying to point you out, but I'm a little bit trying to point you out. This is a good example of saying, how do I skip the line? What you need to do is start with service. So how can you serve somebody with teaching mathematics? Because you can just say, okay, I'll create a blog and I'll do some math formulas and I'll teach people about math, and then maybe I'll get popular and make a lot of money teaching math. Not so fast. You need to start with service. So who are you trying to serve? Who's your target audience? What do they struggle with within the context of math? And how can you deliver and solve a problem for that? What you're doing is very, very, very systemized. It's a perfect setup for creating a systemized and productized business. But where you're going to differentiate, because I could just go to khanacademy.org or just YouTube anyone else teaching math, or just ask Google what 18 to the power of 12 is divided by this. I don't need your tutelage. Somebody does. Who are they? What do they struggle with? And how do you solve that problem one-to-one first? How do you get them on a Skype call? And share your screen, share their screen, and go, let's walk through X, Y, and Z. And let's teach you X, Y, and Z, and then see if you can do it by yourself. Now let's move to a harder concept. And now let's go to this. And then what you do from that, doing that 1, 2, and 3 times and booking them on a retainer, or, over the, with a one-time payment or whatever it is, how do you then repeat that and start to standardize that so that maybe you can create a YouTube channel where you create content on the basic concepts of what people struggle with in this concept of math, in this area of math, and then give them that content, but then use that as a way to build traffic, establish authority, and then turn that traffic into downloading your math workbook so that you can pass the X, Y, and Z exam. Whatever your target audience is, this is where you need to come and understand this. Because then you can deliver something as a lead magnet, and then you can build a list. And from there, you can then automate and pitch your services as a math tutor online, helping high school kids, or helping, adults who had to go back to, to learn, educate math for this certain job or whatever it is. This is where knowing your niche matters. And then you can automate getting people on your tutoring calls. From there, you can then productize and then say, okay, this part here is repetitious. It happens every single time. And I know what I can do. I can create a great course with a good video and a series of videos that take them through all these concepts. And I know that this is going to give them 80% of what I do in person. I'll be able to charge less because it doesn't involve my one-to-one time. And then I could scale the marketing, sales, and service delivery so that if anyone from that needs extra help, they can book me at $100 an hour. We can go on a Skype call and I can help them with their critical, really advanced math problem. I just outlined your idea, Rashu, for your mathematics business. Okay? It's your job to know your niche, the problem, how you're going to solve that, and then start with service, systemize it from there, and then you can create a product. Do you see how that works? And this applies to anyone else who's wondering, but that's how that would look. And that's a very valid business model. Okay. But you need to know who you're serving. And there are niches that aren't going to be very profitable within that category. Math isn't a niche. Math is a topic. There are a million different ways you can go with math. What level of math? For whom? What problem are they struggling with within math in their context? A high school kid struggling with basic applied mathematics is different from somebody who is, who is at like a master's level of mathematics and, are struggling with some major, major, major issues that 1% of the population have ever even heard of. Very different. Someone who's trying to pass an exam versus someone who's trying to, get a job as a professor, but needs to brush up on their math or whatever. Okay. This is great. Good question. Okay. And okay, now Leslie says, what's a funnel? I'm not clear on what you mean by funneling ads. A funnel, when I refer to funnel, I'm talking about a sales funnel. Imagine a funnel like one of those V-shaped funnels you pour water in, where at the top is where you pour in the water, and then that water funnels down to the bottom where it comes out a spout. So when it comes to sales funnels, it's your initial audience at the top. So people who don't really know who you are or have just heard of you, or they're somewhere at the top and they don't have anything to do with your business yet, but it's your target audience. That's the top of the funnel. Then you need to get them into the funnel. So you give them something that in exchange for a way to contact them. The way we can use tools nowadays is with their email. So you ask for their email in exchange for something. So if you have a landing page or a website that says, download my checklist that solves this problem, in this many days, and the person goes, yeah, that's my problem, and I would love to solve that problem in X many days, I will download the PDF. Here's my email. Enter. Now they're in your funnel. From there, you can then follow up with them manually. This is what I've done in the past. Funnels existed in the past. What would happen is someone would see the roadside advertisement for a real estate agent and go, I like that guy. I want him to help me buy a home. And then they call and they go, hey, Chad, hey, Susan, I need you to help me sell my home. And then they go, cool, I'll follow up with you. And then they follow up with you until they get you signing a document, and then signing a contract, and then giving you money or giving them money, and then selling your home. It's just a sequence of people not knowing who you are right through to buying from you. Okay. So in this case, funneling ads, is basically you have your funnel in place. Your funnel has nothing to do with ads. Ads can be incorporated into your funnel to get top of funnel traffic, but your funnel is basically taking your target audience, getting in contact with them, nurturing that relationship, pitching your service or your product, and selling them. Okay? So what we will do from there is, how do we get more people to the top of the funnel? So you can then say, okay, let's pay for an advertisement to advertise my business, to get them into the top of the funnel, to nurture them, to serve them, to pitch them, to close them, and to deliver your service. And then if you can calculate the percentage of top of funnel to bottom of funnel, so let's say for every 1,000 people in the top of funnel, or let's say for every 100 people at the top of funnel, one person buys, that's a 1% conversion rate. So then you could say, if I had 1,000 people at the top of funnel, then I should have 10. I believe that's right. Yes. So then you have 10 customers. So you say, okay, so that's, how can I improve my conversion rate? How can I improve my traffic? How can I improve this aspect? How can I then resell a customer on another product to increase the average invoice value? Lots of cool levers we can pull, but you can't pull them unless you actually have a business first, unless you've launched and established that. We can do lots of really cool things with your business, no matter your niche or your industry, your skills, what you're doing. But if you don't have the business yet, then you can't systemize anything. You can't create a funnel. You can't productize and create a course. You can't automate your service delivery if you have no service to deliver. That's why I say start with service. It's not because I want to sound nice or I want to sound like traditional and old school, but that the truth is this, is when you start with service, people need that more than ever. In our highly automated, highly digitized, highly connected world, the human touch of service and treating somebody as a real person and helping them stands out like a sore thumb or like a golden egg or whatever. Because everything's automated, everything's systemized, everything is all of that nowadays. That's like, it's all the craze because we can. But then when you're the person who goes, hey, like when I'm on live chat on my website and I go, hey, Brad here, they go, yeah, right, this is a robot. And I go, no, this is me. This is Brad. And I'll send them a picture of me, typing to them. And it feels so stupid. But then they go, oh my gosh, like I'm actually talking to Brad. I'm like, yeah, it's just a person. Okay. Like I'm not, you don't have to get weird. What's your problem? How can I help you? This is my business and I care about the people who want to buy something from my business. So how can I help you? And they go, I thought you were a robot. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. I'm so excited. This is amazing. So it's just the human touch, starting with service, actually serving somebody stands out. If you want to stand out in your business, connect and serve them. Okay. James says the funnel tool in Freelancing Freedom is the beast of a tool and very innovative. Thank you, James. I really appreciate that. I plan on improving what it is that we have in terms of funnels and designing that as well as we get into Systemize and everything like that. So thanks, James. Harold, good to see you, Harold. He's just stopping by to say hello. Mary Jo, I have to rewatch this video. I got hijacked by a client. Hey, that's okay. Clients are, it says the client meeting went well. Great. I want you to get clients. So if you have a client and you're getting paid, you don't need to be here. You can always come back. So I appreciate you letting us know. So those are the questions there. Any more questions? Yeah, those were the main questions. Awesome. So to round things off here, my friends, as you know, we have our new course called Launch. Launch is all about planning and launching and growing that foundation of your business. No matter your industry, no matter your niche, no matter your services or your skills, Launch is all about getting started. Whether you've never started a business before or you need to go back to the more foundational elements so that you can dial your business back in so that you can get to systemizing, scaling, and automating and productizing and all the fun stuff. So I want to give you a free demo of Launch. Where you sign up here, freelancingfreedom.com/launch, what's going to happen is you're going to be sent a free demo. It's a 30-minute walkthrough video of everything in Launch where you can see behind the scenes everything that you get so that you know what the product is, what the training is, what you get, what's the community, what are the workbooks, what are the lessons, what's the lesson outline, what do the videos look like, what does your student account look like, what's the price, all this stuff. You get a free demo walkthrough of everything when you sign up at freelancingfreedom.com/launch. It's free, no credit card or anything required for that. But then as a thank you of getting that demo and checking it out, I'm going to send you my revenue roadmap and price calculator for consultants. And I'll also bundle in a couple workshops about pricing and positioning as well. And this will give you a huge head start on your business and what it takes to get started so you can get the most out of Launch. That's why I created this product. I can work with people one-to-one on this sort of stuff, but again, I'd probably charge anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 a month to teach what it is that you can get access to for $500, one payment. That you can pay. You'll pay that off with one client. The point of this course isn't to be like, here's some nice videos and some information and thank you for your money and screw off and don't ever talk to me. This is my way of saying I can help you start a business and I want to get you a client. My objective in this course is for you to have a business and a client, ideally 3 clients, so that you can have a valid business model. So if I'm getting you a client or 3 clients and beyond and giving you the system so that you can establish and build your business from there, is that not worth $500? Or am I like, do I have my head so far in the clouds that the idea that building a business is some frivolous thing that doesn't make money? Am I getting this wrong? What is a business worth to you? Feel free to answer this question in the chat. What is your business worth to you? Okay, let's go simple. What is one client worth to you? If I get you one client, what is that worth to you? Okay. So with that, what are 3 clients worth to you? What are 10 clients worth to you? What is a business that allows you to leave your job or grow a side hustle, ideally quit your job and have a business that sustains your lifestyle and provides for your family? What is that worth? Is that worth $500? Or, 12 payments of $49? Is that, do you see what I'm getting at? Anyway, I can go on a soapbox on that. Mary Jo says it's so worth $500. It's pennies to get a leg up on starting a freelance business. Yeah, honestly, when I get clients, and book them with book web design clients and web development marketing clients, I won't take on a project unless it's $10,000. Why that much? Because I know that what I'm going to deliver is going to be at least worth that. I don't want to commit time to a project that's going to still take me a month and only pay me $2,000. And my time is much more worth more than what it was when I started out. And people are willing to pay $10,000 to have an established marketing strategy, a great website that gets them customers, that makes them stand out against their competition, and to be taken care of by a professional who leads with value and service. So for me to work one-on-one with somebody to start their business, that's easily the same price. Okay? The value is the same thing. But that's why I'm putting it together in a product. And this is me showing you that I've started with service. I've done this countless times before, one-to-one and in groups and in various other forms. But I've put it all together in one course that is something that you'll get a return on in one client. And if you only get one client from the course, well, then the course was free. But that would be sad, because I don't want you to have one client. I don't want you to have a business with one client, because that's not actually a business. I want you to have a business that you get a return on your investment, but then now you have a business that will continue to get clients. Okay. Hafsa says, my business is worth everything because it's what I love to do and a way to help my family. Exactly. Mary Jo says, to have to find this out through trial and error, it's just silly. I wish I found this in my first start of my business. So much time wasted to not have this then. And Hafsa says, one client means that I'm one more step close to what I want to get ultimately. So yeah, that's what this is for. So if you have not yet signed up for the demo of Launch, what's going to happen there is you're going to get the demo and you're going to get an opportunity to join Launch. And it's time sensitive. It's based on when you sign up, it's time sensitive. There are 5 days to join up based on when you join, because I want to give you a push so that you can make a decision. Because if you don't have anybody pushing you and you're on the fence, why not just stay on the fence perpetually? So this is my push. Get the demo and give Launch a try. If it's not worth your time, if it's not worth your money, then you get your money back. It's pretty simple. I don't disappear off the face of the planet. I practice what I preach. I start with service. And even in my highly automated, highly productized, highly systemized business, I'm still at the very core starting and leading with service. So if you have a problem, myself and Alea are here to help. If it's not worth your time and it's not getting you results, then I haven't done my job. So check out Launch. There's the link to get the demo, to get your free resources, and I encourage you to sign up and give it a try. That's what I got for today, folks. I appreciate having you here. It's nice to chat and do another office hours. And we've got some very exciting things coming up. I actually just created and mapped out, wrote, and I have everything ready for our new Freelancing Freedom Launch webinar. So in the past, we've done the masterclass webinar and it was always a hit. This is that on steroids. Very excited for it. Keep an ear out or an eye out in your inbox for an invite to that soon. That will be going up in the next week or so. And we're going to have a great free, high impact epic training session to help you launch your business. Okay. Thanks everybody. Cheers. God bless. Have a great weekend. And bye now.